Want to break down for you how you literally can build a personal brand from nothing that can ultimately unlock millions of dollars for you in your future. And I want you to understand it can absolutely happen for you, but you must do the work.
It has to work or it has to work.
How to build a multi-million-dollar brand from nothing, right? Step number one, planning. The reason why planning is super important is I want you to actually begin with the end in mind. Like right now, I want you to literally think, where do I want my brand to be? 1 year from now, where do I personally want to be? I want you to take a moment, assess where you are right now, where your followers are at, where your income is at. What are you actively doing right now to grow your brand? I want you to do a true self-assessment of what you're doing actively, what events are you showing up to, how much energy and effort are you currently putting in, because this will all be very important as we get into it. One of my favorite books is Stephen Covey. He talks about beginning with the end in mind. You have to go ahead and arrive at the destination in your mind before you arrive there in your life. So if we want to talk about generating $1 million with your brand, $10 million, whatever the number may be, let's write it out. Like in the next year, how much income do I want to make? In the next 2 years, how much income I want to make? In the next 3 years, how much income I want to make? In the next 5 years, right? Next, how much impact do I want to make? In the next year, what is the amount of impact? How many lives do I want to affect with my personal brand and what I'm doing? How many people do I want to help? Like, this is so important that you get a very clear understanding on what it is that you want to do, how you're going to do it, so you can get very clear and work a plan to actually make this happen. Number two is super duper important, y'all. And the reason why number two is important, because this is content creation. I obsess about this. Like I tell people this all the time in a lot of my speeches around helping people grow their brands. I always talk about your name must become synonymous with whatever it is that you do. You guys hear me talk about Alex Good Energy, right? When I say trucking, you'll think about Alex, right? I'll say credit, you may think about him 500, right? It's certain things that I say. Motivation, you may think about E.T. When I talk about best basketball player ever, you may think about LeBron, you may think about Mike, you may think about Kobe, but how can your name become synonymous with what it is that you do? And one of the easiest and quickest ways to do this is by creating what I like to call value content. And you're probably like, yo, Neil, what do you mean by value content? What is value content? I want you to go ahead and hire you a filmmaker. And I want you to go ahead and spend a day, one full day, maybe two. And I want you to film as much content as you can about teaching your audience what it is that you do, about helping them get a specific result, right? I'll give you guys a prime example. My brothers, Troy Rashad, Ian on Market Mondays. They show up there every single Monday. Last time I was on the 14,000 people live. Value content. They're giving so much value to the world. And guess what? Those figures are at the top of the game. There's not many people higher than them in this industry, right? Especially for the culture. Why? Because they led first with value. The whole podcast is led on value and helping people get there, get to a specific result. So the first thing I want you to do is start with day one. Film 50 to 100 videos around what it is that you do and how you can help somebody get there. Next thing, when we talk about doing this is imperative. Give away your best stuff for free. You're probably like, yo, Neil, what you mean? Why would they buy it? That's the exact reason why people would buy it, because you're leading first by giving away your best stuff for free. So if it's some trade secrets, give it away. Like some of the best YouTube videos, like I go look at my brother Alex Hormozy. He giving away his best content for free. But guess what happens? They're not holding back. Like he say, I have nothing to sell you, so I'm gonna give you everything that I have. I want you to lead with that exact same mindset on how can I give people everything that I have? So write down all the different videos that you have. Next thing, I do recommend that you come up with a podcast. And the reason why I'm recommending you do this when it comes to the content creation, and this isn't mandatory, but one, podcast isn't going anywhere. I want you guys to write it down, the importance of evergreen. Evergreen is everything, which means when you film it, it lives on forever. Like my podcast, 102 or 103 episodes right now, is living forever on Apple iTunes. When I pass away, it will still be there, right? When you go on YouTube, I'm still making money today from videos I did on YouTube years ago. Why? Because it's evergreen content. And when somebody begin to search for the evergreen content, they're going to find that content. So I want to make sure you guys are very clear on this concept of filming as much content as you can. And think about it, y'all. I want you to mark down this next year is focused on content creation. Like I need you to put that in your mind, because sometimes some of you are hearing a 1 day concept, and as you're hearing a 1 day concept, you like, bet all I got to do is 1 day. All I got to do is no. Think about doing that 1 day every quarter, every month. So next, in addition, when we talk about the content, everybody write this down, create a content schedule. Like, when will this content be released? How often will you film the content? Will it be every once a week? Will it be once a month? Will it be once a quarter? Like, you got to get clear on it. Like, yo, I'm filming this every week. I'm filming this every month. We making drops every day. And this is going to be one way how you could just put out so much content. And y'all, the next part is you want to go ahead and plaster this content everywhere. We talking about YouTube. We talking about TikTok. We talking about Facebook. We talking about LinkedIn. We talking about blog spots. We talking about articles, right? I want you guys to go ahead and think about long form content. Let's say this 20-minute video that's being recorded, right? When this video is done, it's going to go to our editors. Our editors are going to chop this one video into anywhere from 10 to 15 10 to 15 Instagram reels. They're going to also go ahead and chop it into 10 to 15 TikToks, right? Or it could be the same exact videos. They're now going to go ahead and put several of these up on YouTube Shorts, right? Now we're going to go ahead and give it to an editor and have them go ahead and write an article on 5 steps to building a $1 million brand from scratch, right? We now going to take that same content. We're going to go ahead and put it on LinkedIn. We now going to take that same LinkedIn content and go ahead and see if we can go ahead and put it on other blog spots. So look how we just took one piece of content and we batched it. Well, you're batching your content, but you're taking one long form and you're turning that long form content and you're putting it everywhere that you possibly can think of. And now you're starting to build a name and build a brand for you with this particular content strategy. Number 3 step in building $1 million brand from scratch is value creation. And this, my friends, is how you get to the next level. So I was just on Instagram Live and I watched my guy Pushman Mitch. I met Pushman Mitch, y'all. He wasn't on the internet at all. I told him Instagram. I'm like, bro, you got to go on Instagram, use this hashtag tips with Mitch. And y'all, within a year, I think we grew his following over 100,000 followers, but we talking about millions of dollars in revenue as a result of this. I'm talking about he wasn't online. When I met him, I'm like, yo, what's your Instagram? I don't got a personal Instagram. I just got a company one that had like 3-4 posts on it. I don't do nothing on social media. I'm like, wait, you don't do nothing on social media? So I literally, this same concept is the concept that I can count so many people I've given the same exact proven concept that works like crazy, but no one is willing to stick to it. So if you listen to us in the comments, I'm willing to stick to the process, coach. I'm willing to take the action on this information. It works. If you work, like you can't not work it and expect it to work. So value creation, Nehemiah, what do I mean by value creation? The content that we just created, now we're posting this and we're putting it out everywhere for a year straight. And almost you want to put this value content, this creation out for months without you ever asking for anything in return financially. You want so much goodwill built that when somebody finally asks you for $1, it is almost, I feel, you know how many people have come to me, joined my mastermind, like, yo, you've made me so much money from your free content that I'm joining your mastermind just to give you the money back. I had one of my guys recently come to our event, Circle CEO event. And he's like, man, bro, I bought a VIP ticket. A platinum ticket. It was $10,000. He said, man, I can't show up, but the amount of money you helped me make, the things that have happened in this last year, right? My business was already doing good, but when I locked arms with you, my business started moving in ways that I never knew even existed. I'm just sending this money really to just sow seed, honestly. So I say all that to say, like, you have to focus on value creation. This is a long-term play. And once you dial this play in, you will become synonymous with whatever it is that you do. Life insurance, car sales, credit. I don't care what you do. This works. The next step is, how can you start finding influencers and people in business and you just start giving your gift away for free? Whether you showing up willing to do calls for their audience because they now see you this expert, like helping them out in certain ways, like helping them open up their rental car agency, helping them get their credit right, helping them get $250,000 in business credit. Like, you want to start being known as the guy that adds value. Like right now to this day, y'all, I got so many different friends in Paris, up in high places, and not one of them gonna call you and be like, Neo asked me for a favor. It's just not many of them. Why? Because I always think about how can I lead with value first? How can I give them so much value, right? Where it's like, man, if he ever did ask for anything, I just gotta show love. If he ever did like say, bro, you might help me with this, they're just gonna show love. Number 4 in the process, right? This is what I call show up. What do you mean by showing up? I want you to take a year of your life. I want you to show up to every event that matters. I mean, every event in their mind. I'll give you an example. Sonia, she one of my mentees in my mastermind, was literally one of the first talking about 6-7 years ago, I had something called Boardroom Boss, and she came. She was like, yo, I spent my last to be here. Fast forward today, y'all, she live in Miami and Philly, got her Lamborghini yours, multiple 7 figures, business like going crazy. And what she used to do every year for years, every weekend, she's at somebody event, whether she had to get on a plane, and she started building her name up. She the student loan doctor. So she started going to these rooms. As she started going to as many rooms, now they asking her to speak. Now they asking her to like, yo, can you come to my audience? And what you're doing, you're getting a name for showing up. Like you're showing up to event after event after event. And if you can, buy the most premium seat and ticket there is so they remember you. Like lately, we've been at a lot of Grant Cardone events. Now, yo, what's up, Neo? Now it's placed in his mind. So at some point, there's going to be an opportunity where I may speak on his stage. Like we're going to do business together, right? And that's somebody I look up to, super billionaire. So what I want you to do, get in the process of showing up. And the reason why showing up is important, when you start showing up these events, you're showing up with powerful people. You're showing up with people, and people going to start seeing you around and wondering who you are and what you do. But now you already followed my blueprint. You already got all these things online. You're already doing different events. You got articles out. You got all these different things out. And now you're starting to make a staple for yourself. So now when you're showing up, and when you show up, find a way for you to add value. Whether it's you're speaking, man, I would love to speak on your stage if you need me to speak. Whether I would love to be a sponsor, you got to be willing to do the work today to keep showing up. And what happens is you're going to start getting results that you didn't know you can get by showing up. So I'm challenging you to get in a room where you just start showing up as much as you can and adding value, right? And the final thing, and again, y'all, this is a year process. Don't go ahead and have your first event in month what? Final step in this building your brand and start hosting your own events. Now, because guess what you did? Now you added so much value. Now you put out so much goodwill with the people, value content, showing people love, help them get results. They're listening to your podcast. You speaking on other people's stages. Now you can reach out and see what other people come to your stage and speak. You now can go in and add something to all of them individuals who've been waiting for you to have you some sort of live event or use some sort of session where they can learn from you. And now you repeat that process over and over and over again. And this is the way for you to build a multi-billion-dollar business from scratch. I said billion, excuse me, multi-million-dollar business from scratch following my frameworks. Look forward to seeing y'all in the next session. Let's go.